Tea Squad, it's me Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Love and Hip Hop New York Season 7 Episode 12 review. Yo, y'all, I got some piping hot tea for y'all tonight. I got 3 different stories, so let's get into it right the fuck now. I'm sorry that you... So the first bit of tea I literally just got before I started filming. Apparently Cardi B is not happy with tonight's episode. She went on Instagram and put up a rant on tonight's episode. I'm so glad I was able to catch it because she deleted it as soon after she put it up on Instagram. So here's what she had to say about tonight's episode.
That shit is ridiculous. Niggas was begging me and my fucking sister to go to Mexico, and I have so much work to do because at the time I was doing my mixtape, and it's like, so y'all make me go to fucking Mexico so I could find out that y'all trying to fucking play me like I was some type of uninvited ass guest. Like, I will never chill with none of y'all bitches. Never. So don't ever, I don't even know why VH1 is making me look like a fucking mark ass bitch, like a little ass nigga. Like, fuck out of here. Don't play me like that. Like, that's why I'm not fucking with this TV shit. Like, this shit is fucking ridiculous. Like, the fuck? Like, niggas was begging me to go out there for me to see on fucking TV that you trying to fucking play me like a little...
Help of Jesus. This is what I be trying to get y'all to understand with reality television. It's not what it seems. There be shit that production does to create storylines and to fuck people up. The other story I want to give you all is on K. Michelle. K. Michelle says that she is done with reality television. She, like Cardi B, is not very happy with Mona Scott. And VH1, here's what she had to say. So she was on Instagram Live and she said she's not doing TV anymore. She also said, I love Mona and VH1. They are great. Well, VH1 is great. Shade. She then went on a small rant about being very smart and educated, and when she said, Mona me, if I'm executive producing, I need to see my budgets. I'm not stupid. I need to see my budgets, so no more shows. She was insinuating that she didn't like the money situation. She went on about how smart she was and that she didn't just want a title. She said, if I'm executive producing, then let me do my job. Let me see the budget. Why can't I see the budget? So apparently Mona is making enemies left and right with some of her biggest stars. These are her biggest franchise players, and if she loses them, girl, I don't know what she gonna do. Because Cardi, the K. Michelle's, the Jocelyn's of the world, this is who she makes her bread and butter off of. So she better start cutting these checks for these girls instead of giving them these little glamorized titles where they really don't really have any fucking control. Kind of like Mariah on Married to Medicine. She's an executive producer. She's the one that brought the show to Bravo. But as you can see, she got pushed out of her own show. It's just a glorified title that they gave her. Last piece of story that I have is on Kirk and Rashida. You know, last week I told you all that their storyline for the upcoming season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is that Kirk has had a baby on Rashida with a stripper by the name of Jasmine. Well, apparently over the weekend, the 2 ladies got into it. Check out this picture. These are the Snapchat posts, I guess, that the girl Jasmine put up saying how you feel, why you mad. Apparently her and Rashida got into a fight Friday night. Kirk was standing in between them saying, you knew I loved my wife. What the fuck wrong with you? It was ugly. They said, you know, the cameras was there. But you know, everything with Kirk and Rashida, you got to take it with a grain of salt because they're trying to do whatever they need to do to keep this storyline and keep them on the show. So I don't know if this storyline is true or if it's fake. We'll be the judge of it when the show airs. Here's another good pic of the girl. And the other part of the tea is production plans to have Rashida and Jasmine meet on camera for the first time. And Rashida had no clue about Jasmine and was blindsided, so they say. Jasmine was told by Kirk Frost that he would leave Rashida, and Jasmine believed him. So we will see. I cannot wait for the new season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It will be returning in March. They just showed the first little teaser commercial, and oh my god, I just cannot wait. The last bit of tea on Rashida is that she's about to release a book about her life and marriage this year. Sounds like this whole scenario with this baby is a plot, story plot. not real. But okay, she says, I'll give you a little bit of insight on just, you know, life, my journey, my business, being a mom, trying to juggle it, finding balance, being on reality TV, being in a 17 plus year marriage, and just all the things that come along with that. Just like a guide to trying to figure it all out. Will you be buying Miss Rashida's Georgia Peach's book? I won't, but that's just me. So that's all the tea that I have for you guys. Let's get into tonight's episode of Love and Hip Hop New York. We start off tonight's episode with Papoose at a video shoot for a song of his. It's so good to see him getting back to the music, because I don't know if you all know the history of Papoose's career. When Papoose came out, he was like one of the biggest rap artists to debut during that time. Like he was considered one of the best lyricists in the early 2000s. I remember he got his deal. It was one of the biggest deals at that point. It was unheard of for artists at that time to get $1 million contract. He got $1 million contract. He was on the cusp of greatness. Him and Remy started dating. Remy got locked up, and he basically put his career on hold, career suicide, to take care of her, be there for her, married that girl and everything. He lost his contract, he lost everything, but instead he chose love and his wife. And you see how it worked out for him in the end. So glad to see him on top again, because that boy sacrificed everything for that girl. That is true love. His daughter and his mom come to set to check on him. He tells them that he's not doing good. You know, their baby wasn't able to develop. It was stuck in Remy's fallopian tubes. You know, he said, you know, I never got to see the baby or anything, but I already love the baby. His mom tells him, you know, you're moving too fast. You just need to take time to heal, to make sure that you and Remy are okay. Peter, Rich, Snoop, and Self get together for pool. Peter tells Self that they're bringing Krisco back to the Creep Squad. Self still ain't heard from him. Krisco telling people apparently not to sign with Self. They all tell him, like, if we can forgive him, nigga, you can forgive him. Let's just squash all this shit. He tells them, you know, invite dude out so they can squash the beef. Tell him to pull up in his hottest car. And somebody say he ain't got no car. I think it was Peter. So the girls, Juju, Jay, and Kim, are in Cancun on their girls' vacation trip. Once again, I see you, Mona Scott Young. She's getting her Real Housewives on, with the cast now going on trips every season. Watch they do this in Atlanta, Hollywood. Watch this be something that they start doing now, where the girls all gather and go on a big trip like they do on the Real Housewives franchise. By the time they started doing this and making all the girls come together, because it was actually really cute, it was really funny, and I quite enjoyed tonight's episode. Juju is going to show the girls her book for the first time, and she brings out this little pamphlet, and I'm like, I hope this ain't her book. And apparently it's just chapters from the books, and the book is filled with just short stories, little erotic stories or whatever. Yandy then shows up, but she shows up with Bianca, and all the other girls looking at her like, what the fuck is she doing here with Bianca? Like, ain't nobody invite her. And Kim says, you know, if you're bringing work, I hope you working on Jewel's shit too, or it's gonna be a problem. Yandy is like, I can do both. You know, I'm gonna kick it and I'm gonna work at the same time. Kim said, you know, me and you ain't vibing right about now. You still need to show me what I asked you for. She brings up Yandy telling Juju that she's not comfortable giving Kimbella Jewel's schedule. Jewel's apparently told Kimbella that he's not happy with Yandy because he feels like she's not giving 100%. Yandy's like, I want to handle my issues with my client, not with my client's girlfriend. What are you talking about? So Yandy's like, me and him already talked, so I don't even understand why me and you are talking when I've already had a conversation with him. Kimbella says, you know, I still want you to talk to me too. Talk to you about what, girl? You ain't the one getting on stage rapping. You ain't the one writing the lyrics. What the fuck does she need to talk to you about? Kimbella needs a fucking job. Kimbella needs a hobby. Like I told her last week to start back modeling and shit. Girl, get you some wigs. Start you a wig line. Start you a lash line. Shit, you exercising all the damn time. Start your little exercise group. Start selling waist trainers or some shit. Girl, do something with your goddamn time instead of worrying about what these two working motherfuckers is doing. Goddamn. So I'm like, okay, at this point, I see what you're doing. Once again, Mona, I see you. I see you. Y'all recycling Chrissy and Jim's and Yandy's old storyline from what, season 2? We're not about to do this again, Mona. I need for you to stop recycling shit, girl. We can see through it. So Bianca is trying to get some work done while she's on vacation. And apparently she invited Cardi, Hennessy on the trip. And Cardi then invited Mariah. Bianca is pissed off, like, what the fuck is this bitch doing here? Cardi tells him, look, I don't give a fuck about all that. Y'all two motherfuckers need to talk. Bianca tells her, you know, go hang with your real friends. And Mariah's like, you supposed to be my friend. They aired out in their makeup. Mariah realizes that Sky used her to get at Bianca. Mariah clarifies, I'm not friends with Sky no more. You are my BFF. I don't fuck with that bitch. Mariah still hasn't forgiven Bianca though for throwing them drinks on her, so she throws Bianca in the pool. It was a really cute, funny scene. Mariah then follows her into the pool. Her wig come off. You see her braids braided to the back and shit. Cardi, little sister Hennessy gets thrown into the pool. They all try to pull Cardi into the pool. Cardi's like, nah, the fuck y'all ain't gonna see me with my motherfucking her floating in this goddamn pool. So she hugging on to the tree for dear life, and it was just really cute and funny to see all the girls together. But one thing I will say, Bianca got a great ass. That little girl got a great ass. I just love Bianca. I think she's so pretty. So Remy and Pap sit down and talk. She's still very depressed over losing the baby. She's crying, and she says she thinks about losing the baby all day, every day, even while she's performing. It just won't escape her mind. And, you know, she's really fucked up because she can't give him a child. And that's something that he's wanted from her since the day they met. And she wishes that she would have tried sooner, that maybe they would have had the child. And she's kind of like blaming herself. And I understand perfectly well what position that she's in, because when I found out that I possibly couldn't have children anymore, like I said, had to wait 4 months before I found out what my results would be after surgery. So during that time when I was in my relationship, we were already having relationship problems as it was. And when I found out there was a possibility that I wouldn't be able to have children anymore, I was like, well, really, where is this relationship going? Because we're already having problems. He wants children. I probably won't be able to have children anymore after I have this surgery and I find out the results of whether they're able to salvage any of my ovaries. So at that point, I just really had to make the decision on, you know, trying to stick it out or just ending it, because there was really no future for us. Our relationship was going nowhere. It was a dead end, and somebody had to pull the plug. And so I had to find the strength within myself to leave the situation, which was one of the best things I could have ever done for myself, because it wasn't a healthy relationship that I was in. If you've read Emotionally Unavailable, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just felt really bad for Remy once again, because I understand 100% where she's coming from. But Pat, being the man that he is, you know, he steps up to her and tell her, regardless if we can have children or not, I'm still gonna love you. I'm still gonna be here for you, and we're gonna ride this out. And I know they're gonna be able to have a child. I just know they are. I know God's going to bless them somehow, some way with their own kid. Juju and Kim go out together since Kim and Yandy still ain't getting along. Cardi, Bianca, Mariah, Hennessy are out having drinks. Jay and Yandy hit the club together, and as they're in the club, they just so happen to see Bianca in the same club. So Jay sees Bianca on the bar. Bianca's supposed to be working. Yandy goes over to her to confront her, asks her like, girl, what are you doing? How are you inviting people on the trip that I invited you to, but I don't want you supposed to invite your ass? Mariah is overhearing the conversation and is telling Cardi and Hennessy, I heard her saying we weren't invited and we don't need to be here. The girls then feel disrespected. Cardi says in her green screen, which is filmed after they filmed the season, that she understands what Yandy is saying, but at the same time, Bianca still gotta have fun too. Bianca thanks Yandy for all she does for her, but says Yandy has a lot going on in her life. And Bianca starts to cry inside the club. And, you know, Yandy tells her, regardless of what I got going on in my life, I'm still going to be here for you, and I just want to see you win. Now, see, this is where I'm kind of having mixed emotions with Cardi's rant tonight. Because you're saying that you watched the episode tonight and that they tried to make it seem like you were this uninvited guest, but as you were filming, you knew that that's what they were on. You heard Mariah Lynn tell you that Yandy is saying we weren't invited. So why are you so mad now when you knew that that was what it was while you were filming? I don't really understand it, but that's why I will never do reality television unless it's my own goddamn show. So Yandy and the girls meet on the beach in their best swimwear for a women's empowerment lunch. that they never the fuck had. Juju tells Kim that Bianca invited her friends and Kim got an attitude. Juju asked Yandy and Kim to talk. Kim still going off on Yandy for no fucking reason and says they're friends first and they family, and then Yandy starts to cry and tear up and Kim starts to cry and tear up and then they make up and kiss. And I was like, Yandy, you better bitch to me, because she wouldn't have been talking to me crazy like that. I would have slapped the shit out of Kimbella. The baby thoughts show up. And as soon as they sit down, Mariah Lynn confronts Yandy and asks, you act like we was in trouble last night at the club. And Yandy was like, I just wanted her to work. Mariah says in her green screen that she still feels like Yandy was being shady towards them. Bianca says, let's start a twerk off. So Kimbella hop her thought ass up. She the first one out there with that big moon ass of hers. So they all go running towards the beach and they just having a really cute girls time. And I just thought it was really cute. So Krisco, Peter, and Rich are in the club. Self says that since Krisco tried to hurt him, that he's going to hurt him even harder. So he writes on Krisco's car, property of Gwenning, with a marker. So Peter, Rich, and Krisco come out the club. So Krisco sees his car and Self leaning on his car. And he like, really? My nigga, like, really? So he immediately gets mad and tried to fight old dude. But this nigga is slow as fuck. He always trying to fight somebody and move like a fucking snail. Can't never charge nobody, because he's like, it take him 5 minutes to get to point A to point B. So Self started laughing and shit. He was like, my dude. It comes right off. So he pulls out a towel and starts wiping it off. It's removable. Krisco feel like a jackass. He apologized to all of them and asked, can they bury the hatchet for once? And then he get on this New Jack City shit and my brother's keeper. Am I my brother's keeper? I'm like, nigga, you ain't Wesley Snipes. Get somewhere and sit. Boy, you ain't even Christopher Williams. Have a seat. So at the end of the episode, Kim sits down to read Juju's book, and so does Jay. Then we see Yandy sitting down by herself reading the book too. So apparently Juju supposedly wrote a whole chapter on Yandy's life and didn't ask her. They all sit down and Yandy confronts Juju about this. She asks her, are the stories written about people that she knows? And Juju says, no, they're all stories that have been put together. And so Yandy says, if I tell you a story about my life, it should stay between me and you. And why didn't you tell me that you wrote about me in this book? Juju was like, what story are you talking about? Yandy tells her the story she was referring to. Apparently, Juju wrote a story about a girl who makes a fake page on IG stalking her ex, this and that. Juju then replies to her, girl, you ain't the only one that go through that. How many hoes out here making fake pages on their nigga? Like, girl, okay, simmer down, Yan, simmer down. Now I can understand where Yandy comes from, and I can understand where Juju comes from. I think it was just a miscommunication, and Yandy, instead of attacking her and accusing her, just should have asked her more calmly instead of being so aggressive. Other girls agree with Juju. Juju gets mad and said Yandy's not going to make her book about her. She feels like Yandy is accusing her instead of asking her. She gets mad and leaves. Jay follows her to talk to her, and Juju's like, she ruined our whole trip. She invited these hoes I didn't fucking invite. She come to me crazy, and this ain't what she fucking want. This ain't what the fuck she want. And so Kim talks to Yandy and tells Yandy to go apologize, and Yandy's like, no, I'm not. I was like, Yandy, you ain't shit. So Kim tells her that she's being a mean girl, and Yandy's like, how am I being a mean girl? And I was like, you just being stubborn right now. You know how hoes are. They gonna make up. So I give tonight's episode an A+ because it was really cute and funny. I give it an A+ because of the fun, cute facts, and it was good just to see them having fun for once instead of all of the drama. So I have 2 new wig reviews coming. I haven't done wig reviews in probably almost a year, to be honest with you. I have 2 new wigs that I'm really excited about that I have been waiting to get my hands on for the longest. So be looking out for those wig reviews, hunty. I'm gonna show you me unboxing them, my reaction, me putting them on, me judging them and everything. So be on the lookout for that. Also, the Color Me Pink book club pick for February is Angie Martinez, a memoir. If you haven't gotten your copy, please get it. I have the link down below in the description box. I can't wait for us to read it. I just ordered my copy over the weekend. Also, be on the lookout for my next book, Cranes in the Sky, which will be out soon. The short story version of it is in my book, The Untold Stories by China Black. So if you want to get a sneak peek of it, you can go and buy The Untold Stories right now. But if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. You can read that for free. You can read Smells Like Teen Spirit, Volume 1 Heiress, and you can read Cashmere Mafia by me, all for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. So check those out. I love you all. Be on the lookout for a new episode of Since You Asked this Wednesday, and have a great week, and I will see you all back Wednesday for my Black Ink Crew New York review. Love you. Bye.